Hello, my name is John from Mono Story, and today we're going to be talking about why slice of life is good. So let's get into it and find out what it's all about. Slice of life is generally considered to be a genre where it focuses on the aspects of daily life and how a character within their world will interact with other characters through their daily life. It often utilizes characters and conversations to continue on the story, as well as there being a bigger problem that often needs to be resolved throughout the story. And some stories do utilize this completely for their anime or manga. However, there are some, whether it be battle shonens or mysteries, that utilizes slice of life throughout their story. So some examples of slice of life throughout, let's say, a battle shonen would be simple things such as with Naruto. Whenever Naruto goes to Ichiraku Ramen and has ramen at the ramen shop, that is a small moment in his life that we are looking at, and how he has generally conversations with other people in that one location. That there is a slice of life moment because he is not having any form of action. Rather, he is taking himself out of that situation into a more calm, relaxed location where we can get more detailed analysis of that character and their interaction with another character. Another aspect we could look at that is considered to be slice of life would be One Piece. Whenever they are going from one island to another, they have a certain amount of time where they are on a ship. And generally we see the Straw Hats either reminiscing about the past island they were on or doing their daily activities before they arrive at their next island. And it is in those moments again where we get lots of detailed interactions as well as individual character depth that allow us to enjoy those moments. However, there are some stories that utilize slice of life for more than just a moment or an episode. If we were to take a look at an anime called Steins Gate and how it uses its first half to build more slice of life moments before the big plot twist during the middle of the story. And it's in these episodes before the beginning of the plot twist where we see lots of slice of life moments where there isn't really much happening in terms of the mystery or the intensity, but we are seeing slight changes through everyday actions that lead us to where the big reveal comes in. And so it is in these first half of episodes where we learn about the characters, their depth, their relationships, and their chemistry with other characters that create such a really interesting second half that wouldn't be possible without those slice of life, very not mundane, but not as interactive moments. And so the bigger thing we need to look at is, why is slice of life so good? And it's very simple. It gives us further depth to our characters, gives them more complexities, and it allows for comedic moments. So it's in these conversations where we get these comedic moments that we learn about our character being more unique and more of a funny character or a serious character depending on their reaction to this other character's funny or serious comment. And it really is a beautiful thing to read because it allows for our characters to obtain a more justified or explained relationship between them, as well as a better chemistry and connection. So now let's say they're out there fighting with each other, then they're going to be more likely to work together because we've seen them in a moment where they shared time together and they helped each other out in a more relaxed setting. And so this helps with building teamwork as well as characters learning to work with each other. And so some stories are completely slice of life and they utilize these sorts of moments where there is character conflicts or character chemistry to create such things as rivalries or love interests. And it's in those moments that we even get a deeper understanding of our story, and when this character is put in a dire situation because of the other character's connection based on those past slice of life moments, it is in that time we get more tension or we get more satisfaction depending on the result of that situation. And so it's what makes slice of life so good. It's because it allows for unique emotions that are only available through conversation. As whenever you have a fight, there is generally only a few endings to it. There's a draw or a deletion or somebody winning. So it's in those moments that we are going to get the same emotions, generally happiness or sadness, whether it be winning or deletion. And so it's in those moments that we get very little emotions other than the two. However, with the slice of life, you could have a conversation which could allow you to feel anger, however feel remorse or feel sympathy. And it's in those moments that you get very fleeting but yet very strong emotions of something that is very unique to that specific scene. And that is what makes slice of life, again, so good. It's because it allows for the unique emotions within a human to flourish rather than having very specific emotions based on a specific fight that only allows for certain possible endings. Now, the main problem with slice of life, though, is that it can be quite boring, and this can happen when the jokes fall flat, the dialogue can be very clunky, and the connections between characters are very weak, or they're just unforgettable characters. And it's with this issue that makes it very difficult to make a very good slice of life show or moments in a story, because it is very easy to become lazy when writing these things that are slice of life, and your character may be just a regular character with no complexity. So when they interact with another character, there is no unique interactions or unique dialogue that this character will have that will create a problem or a solution to a problem. And so it is within those moments that the story might get very clunky because they're rehashing or redoing things they've already spoken about, because this individual may not be intelligent enough to understand from the past, or may not be explained to him in the past, so we have to get it re-explained again. And other aspects, like I said before, the comedy may be very weak, where it doesn't actually make you laugh, just makes you get cringe or annoyed. And it's in those moments that you lose that connection to that character and you feel like the story is just wasting your time. Now, if you're looking to get into the slice of life genre, or you're already in there and you want to learn about some new anime that you haven't heard of before, or even manga for that matter, well, I've got some very good recommendations. The first one I have for you is known as Your Lie in April, one of the most beautiful slice of life stories. It's about a character who suffered through trauma playing the piano as he was learning it from his mother, and his mother was very strict on him, and as a result he forgot the beauty of playing the piano. And it takes a girl who plays a violin to come in and help him with his trauma, and it's through their connection and their conversations that allow him to grow. And it's a very beautiful story, very sad though, so if you are going to watch this, just remember that you might need 1 or 2 more days after the end of the story that you may feel very sad. Even when you wake up the next morning, you'll still be there with that memory of what has happened in the story when the big plot twist comes in. But still, regardless of it being a very sad story, it is very beautiful to watch. Another one which I mentioned earlier is Steins Gate, and this is a very beautiful story. From the beginning to the plot twist, then to the end of it, it is a very interesting story as it deals with time travel, and the character is able to send a message to the past that changes the future. And through this, we see all the different shenanigans and reality changes that cause a bigger problem. Very beautiful story. However, it is a one-time watch. Once you watch it once, it is very hard to watch it again because the story itself is only experienced beautifully the first time. So make sure if you're going to watch it the first time, you watch it completely and focus, because after that time you will not get that experience again because you will know the whole entire story. The next one we have is a movie known as Your Name, and this is one of the most beautifulest looking anime that I've seen in a very long time. It is very beautiful, the music, the art, and the story itself, which is about 2 characters who literally swap bodies, but they are still in their same location. So there's a girl and a boy and they swap bodies, and so now they're living the other person's life and experiencing it. And so we see after a few days they go back to their normal bodies, and we find out that the story takes us to different timelines. So there's actually a girl who's in a different time to the boy, and so it's a very unique, interesting story, and how they try and meet at the end is what makes the story so beautiful, and it's what we are watching this anime for, and it's why I would highly recommend it as a slice of life, because it does so many different things and so many emotions are stirred within you that is very beautiful just to watch, and at the end of it you feel a sense of fulfillment. Another one we have is known as Odd Taxi. Now this one's a very interesting one because it's about a character who just drives a taxi, and every day he picks up another person and they give us their story, and it's very interesting how throughout the story we're getting little bits and pieces of the world, and we are trying to unravel how one of these characters was deleted. And it is very interesting how we slowly get to that point through the taxi driver's interactions with other people. Very beautiful, and it's a very interesting concept with animals being in a world similar to our own. Now, a bit of a controversial one, I would say, which is Spy Family, as it is considered to be a shonen, as it is being published on Shonen Jump Plus. However, even though it has elements of a shonen, it still has lots more elements of slice of life, and it is basically based on three general characters: a spy, an assassin, an adopted daughter, and how these three characters interact with each other, trying to live a normal family life. However, they are also doing different things, and they know different things based on their lifestyles. And a new manga that has recently been released called Someone Hurts is one of the best manga I've read in a long time for slice of life. It consists of two characters who listen to a radio show, and at the end of that radio show they have a section or segment where they talk about a certain topic, and they will say whoever's comment they consider to be the best response, and in doing so will also say the person's radio name, which allows them to obtain a keychain or even their own tally where they keep track of how many times their name has been said throughout the duration of the show's lifespan. And it is very interesting how our two main characters will often do things to be able to answer their question, or they will do things that are related to the radio show. And that is my thoughts on slice of life and why it is good. And often these moments allow for a break in the often high intense action shonens, and we often get specific moments. So one of the best well-known slice of life moments is the beach episodes, when all the characters are often in their shorts or bikinis and they will head down to the beach, and there'll be generally little to no fighting if it is a battle shonen, and they will often just be doing what normal teenagers or adults would do at the beach, that is drinking or playing in the water or lying on the sand, as often as that would be whenever you go to the beach. So this episode allows for some of the best fan service, character interactions, as well as our beginning to what would be the next arc, or even a foreshadowing moment through conversations to explain what will happen in the future of that arc. And on top of that, whenever they try to solve the problem that is mainly being addressed within this anime or manga, they often use generally logical or normal ways of solving this problem. So if we were to look at, let's say, trying to play the piano again, if we look at Your Lie in April, one of the first things the character would have to solve is every time he plays the piano, he feels a sense of trauma. And it is through understanding that sometimes when we also have to do something, there may be a sense of trauma in doing it. And so when we look at his actions and how he resolved his problem, it also shows a sense of connection to our reality, and that is what slice of life allows. It allows for our emotions and the character's emotions to sometimes, if not always, be similar or closely aligned, which allows for a better understanding and a feeling of presence that we are in the story as well. And above all else, it makes you feel unique emotions that you cannot feel generally in a battle shonen. So if you are a shonen jump battle shonen lover and you despise or think that slice of life is useless or boring, unfortunately, it is not the case. It is necessary for the story to move forward, and it is used in so many different ways, whether it be in a battle shonen or in a anime or manga that utilizes just slice of life as its genre. And so if you are thinking about getting into it, or you think you've already started and you want to try get more into it, you should definitely get into it. It will utilize and create a different perspective for you, because if you are only consuming battle shonens, then the only thing you understand is boom, 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 pow, 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 bang, 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 bang. You don't understand the unique elements of what is human interaction, and that is what slice of life is. It is essentially humans creating emotional connections, whether it be through love or rivalries, through words and actions. But that is my thoughts on slice of life. I want to hear what you think about slice of life. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it boring? Is it interesting? And why? So please write that down in the comment section below. My name is John from Mono Story. If you haven't already liked, subscribed and pressed the bell button, please do so. If you want to watch another video, please click up above. If not, until next time, I will see you on another Mono Story.